For joining us on KREM2 News First at 4, I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome everyone, I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is on assignment. It was a busy day for our community because we had not one, but two governors visiting. KREM2's Ian Smay is in Coeur d'Alene, where Idaho Governor Brad Little visited today. And our Amanda Rowley is in Spokane following Washington Governor Jay Inslee's visit. Both governors met with local health care workers. Amanda, we'll start with you. What was Governor Inslee's takeaway from this meeting at Sacred Heart today?
Well, Mark and Tom, this morning Governor Inslee met with Providence Sacred Heart Medical Center employees, those healthcare workers and administrators, and he said he left that meeting inspired by their tireless efforts throughout this pandemic, but he said he's also frustrated that we're in a situation that he says can be prevented. Now, we have seen COVID-19 hospitalizations rise to an all-time high for our hospitals here in Spokane County. So does this mean we will soon see assistance from the National Guard? Well, Governor Inslee says right now that is not necessary. He says mobilizing the National Guard is currently not in the contingency plan, and that's because he says many medical professionals who are in the Guard are already serving in the private sector.
The greatest shortage that we need are medical professionals. So the medical professionals who are in the Guard, except for a very few, are already working in the community. So we don't really add much capacity in that regard.
Now, his office confirms vaccination rates are one factor in not mobilizing the Guard at this time. They say the amount of mobilization we have seen last year and early this year for mass vaccination clinics should not be necessary with the growing number of people who are vaccinated. Now, also during Governor Inslee's visit, he also discussed how COVID-19 hospitalizations have impacted elective surgeries in our hospitals here in Spokane County. So coming up tonight at 5, I'll break down just how many surgeries have been impacted. Amanda Rowley, KREM2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. We're going to pause from the headlines for a brief moment to talk weather because Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry up here tonight, and ended up being a pretty nice day today.
Yeah, temperature's still below average,
cool.
but it's going to be beautiful tomorrow, although a bit on the windy side. Right now we're at 59 degrees. Average high temperature is 68, and you can see the cloud cover there. We are going to be tracking some rain also moving into the area, not tonight, but by tomorrow night. So there's a look at the Doppler radar. West side of the state, Cascades getting much needed rain. We love to see that, but pretty much dry east of the Cascades. And then when you look for the day planner forecast, we'll look for decreasing clouds this evening, becoming mostly clear overnight with a low of 44. Sunshine and will start the day and then become maybe partly cloudy by the afternoon, and then rain developing Thursday. Also a bit on the windy side. We'll look for a daytime high of about 70 degrees. Still for the weekend, I've got comfortable weather, mild on Saturday and warm on Sunday, at least for this time of year. I'll check the rest of your 7-day forecast, all coming up in a few minutes. Meanwhile, over in Idaho, Governor Brad Little visited the Kootenai County Fairgrounds in Coeur d'Alene. He was there to tour the monoclonal antibody center run by Heritage Health.
This comes as Kootenai health leaders say they have seen a record number of COVID deaths in the past month. KREM2's Ian Smay is live at Kootenai Health with more on Governor Little's visit today. Ian?
Mark, Tom, Governor Brad Little's trip to the monoclonal antibody treatment site at the Kootenai County Fairgrounds this morning was brief, and while there he spoke with Heritage Health leaders and also spoke about the COVID crisis in North Idaho. Now that monoclonal antibody site at the fairgrounds is open 3 days a week and can treat up to 48 patients a day. They can handle 6 patients at a time and are currently fully booked until at least this Friday. Heritage Health said all of the people they've treated have avoided the need for hospitalization due to COVID-19. Little says that while the monoclonal sites are good for treating those with COVID, the key to getting the crisis under control is getting people vaccinated. This comes as he says the situation is still dire.
If you get into a bad car wreck or you have a heart attack, you're going to get care, but it's close right now. What you're not going to get is the elective or discretionary surgery that's necessary, and we just can't do that for very long, and that's why what Heritage is doing up here is so important.
Kootenai health leaders also said today that their resources are still being stretched thin by a high number of COVID-19 patients. They were treating 115 COVID patients as of today. 41 of them are in critical care and 17 are on ventilators. Leaders say they are seeing higher illness levels as well as more cases among younger people. They've had 34 people die of COVID this month, which they said is the highest since the pandemic started and more than they normally see die of any single disease in a given month. Now, Kootenai health leaders also said they are shutting down their monoclonal treatment site here at the hospital in order to free up those resources to treat patients. They said that the opening of that site down at the fairgrounds allowed them to make that move. Coming up at 5 o'clock tonight, I'll have more from Governor Brad Little's trip to that site, as well as what Kootenai health doctors are saying they're seeing inside hospital rooms. For now, reporting in Coeur d'Alene, Ian Smay, KREM2 News.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. And still to come on KREM2 News at 4 today, the woman, a former Idaho lawmaker, is accused of raping, says she was not notified of his arrest.
Both of us were a bit in shock that we had not been notified.
You'll hear more from Jane Doe's attorney there, as well as the lawyer from the accused former lawmaker, coming up after the break.
Hey Spokane, we need your help. We're looking for the best HVAC service technicians to help our customers stay comfortable. If you know a great HVAC technician looking to make great money,
324-7884 Spokane Comfort Systems.
Save up to $2,000 in rebates on GE Profile appliances right now at Fred's Appliance.
GE Profile kitchen packages are on sale now at Fred's Appliance.
Fred's has the largest selection of kitchen packages you'll find anywhere.
When Fred's Appliance advertises it, we've got it. Save on GE Profile appliances.
Come in now and save up to $2,000 in rebates on GE Profile appliances.
Imagine a brand new bathtub or shower in as little as one day. It may sound hard to believe, but BathFitter can make it happen. First, we take detailed and precise measurements of your bathtub or shower. Then the products you've chosen are custom made at our factory. Our expert installers use a precise professional installation technique we have perfected over 35 years, backed by our lifetime warranty. Call now to get an estimate for a new bathroom in as little as 1 day.
You are in the meeting now. There are two participants in the meeting.
Just around the corner, and it's coming your way on October 1st. All across Washington, you'll see how Primera Blue Cross Medicare Advantage HMO plans continue to support your whole body health and protect your budget. Our website will have all the details you're looking for on October 1st. At Primera Blue Cross, we believe your good health is everything. Be sure to visit PrimeraMedicare.com.
Hey, Brayson, it's Mark here at KREM2. Can you hear me?
we're looking for the best HVAC service technicians to help our customers stay comfortable. If you know
Where are we doing the interview with Mr.
In the D block.
looking to make great money,
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for that.
I'm Mark Hanrahan. At KREM2, we know you have a lot going on. Because we have a lot going on too. That's why we give you more. KREM2 has more newscasts than any other station in the region. Let's go, guys. 4 hours in the morning, noon, 3 hours in the evening, plus 10 and 11 p.m. We are here for you when you have the time to watch. We also have more fact-finding investigations. Our Verify segments help you understand what's true or false. That's why at KREM2, there's more to every story.
It has been 6 months since a 19-year-old former State House intern accused former Idaho Representative Aaron Von Ellinger of sexually assaulting her.
A warrant for his arrest was issued on September 9th, and more than 2 weeks later, Von Ellinger was taken into custody. But the victim and her attorney found out about his arrest from a Facebook post. Our sister station in Boise spoke with Jane Doe's attorney.
On Saturday, former state representative Aaron Von Ellinger was arrested as he departed a plane from Honduras in Clayton County, Georgia, charged with rape. The victim, Jane Doe, a 19-year-old former State House intern. Annie Hightower, Jane Doe's attorney, says neither she nor her client were told an arrest had been made.
Both of us were a bit in shock that we had not been notified, and I think we're still sitting with that.
Hightower says both she and Jane Doe were made aware of the warrant issued for Von Ellinger's arrest back on September 9th. But she says the Boise Police Department and the prosecutor's office failed to notify them that they arrested Von Ellinger over the weekend.
We have had contact with law enforcement and the prosecutor's office fairly regularly, and she has been assigned a victim witness coordinator that had maintained contact with her. And so we were surprised that this is the way we found out. It was our understanding that she would be notified at the time of arrest.
Hightower says she learned of the arrest on Facebook from a post of the KTVB news article.
Why do you think that was? Why do you think they didn't tell you right away?
If I had to hazard a guess, I would say just because of where it happened, and there's probably some back end processes that I'm not aware of. It certainly would have helped. However, had my client gotten notice of this, I mean, on her end, she has been through now several systems which have not treated her well. And this is starting to feel for her like a massive failure in another system that she's in.
Jane Doe was forced to testify in front of the ethics committee back in April. During that hearing, Von Ellinger admitted to the sexual encounter but said it was consensual. He resigned before the legislature voted whether or not to expel him. Right now, Von Ellinger remains held in Clayton County Jail without bond, charged as a fugitive from justice.
It sounds like it's a mixed emotions and mixed feelings with frustration, but also a little bit of relief that he has been arrested.
She is, again, scared, I think, because he has got a lot of supporters that have done her harm in the past. So she's scared for what will happen next. She is relieved that the arrest has been effectuated. I think she is probably feeling some hope for things moving forward and for the opportunity for accountability and closure, and probably just some, wondering what's going to happen next.
According to the Boise Police Department, BPD was not at the arrest in Georgia, and while detectives had information that Von Ellinger was no longer in Boise, it's not clear whether police knew he left Idaho.
We'd like to see him return to Idaho, and the case continued against him. We would like to see him be held accountable for what he did to my client. And hopefully that process moves fairly swiftly, because my client has been involved in lots of processes for a long time now, and she needs time for healing and closure.
Well, the lawyer of the accused Idaho lawmaker has since addressed his travel.
Now, he says Von Ellinger was enjoying a months-long international vacation and not trying to outrun the rape charges against him.
Well, in weather, we're tracking warmer weather tomorrow, but it is going to be a bit on the windy side. We'll take a look at that and the rest of your 7-day outlook. That's coming up next.